So Sally,
On the way?
She said, Judge, the last meeting after you had departed, that she'd be probably late.
Oh, late, okay.
okay. So Tommy Jewell,
I'm present.
Dan Layden,
Present.
Joseph Lopez,
Present.
Mr. Stewart,
Present.
Debbie Strongen. Here. Debbie Dodge,
Present.
Michael Wisner,
Here.
and then Elena Giacchi should be strolling in anytime soon.
Okay, and it looks like our letterhead now has an indication that the District 1 position is vacant. Soon. That's correct. I guess that means we no longer have
Mr. Montoya.
Mr. Montoya. And certainly I'll let Mr. Lopez speak to this if he cares to, but sadly, he's telling me that he's not going to hang around too much longer either. So I hope there's an opportunity for rebuttal on that. I thank you for the heads up. And this is our November 17 regular meeting. We emerged from a special meeting that we had approximately a week ago, last week.
I think so.
Wherein we worked on the annual report, and I believe a draft of that is before you, which we will vote on later. The chair notes that there's a quorum, and I'll call for approval of the minutes under item 3 consent agenda. Is there such a motion?
I so move, Judge.
I second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there discussion? I did want to mention that I didn't see a Stepan Vasquez's name in the minutes, and I believed him to have been there.
He was, it was on Zoom.
Yeah, that's my recollection as well. And maybe the larger defect is the fact that we don't really have in our roll call a place where staff are specifically mentioned.
No, we've never put staff or people from the sheriff's office there either, yeah.
No, it's just the board members have to be present to represent a quorum. Staff could come in and out, like one day I might not be here and someone might come in like this.
Oh, well.
We don't know. Like,
No way.
you know, vacation.
Oh, okay.
I just meant
Oh,
like, 'cause staff can
vacation.
be, you know,
Okay.
staff can be, you know, someone could come in for
Now,
a
do you
quorum,
still,
they have to.
then do you still, is the email still the same? The Gonzalez? Or did that change?
No, it's DMIS.
It's DMIS, but if you do Gonzalez, it'll
It'll-
just go to my
okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
they did it that way because it's routes, it's on the back. That's how they say it.
Okay.
It's hidden behind the lines.
At any rate, and I don't know if there was anything specific to a Stephanie. But would you all object to the minutes reflecting that he was present?
Yeah,
Then
I
I
have
think we
no
should say the
objection.
sheriff's office people come too.
I don't
Whoever's
think-
gonna-
I don't think that's gonna be a
No,
problem.
but I mean, if they do, are we gonna include them too or no?
I would think, particularly since they have an agenda item in all of our, that it would be appropriate to name the person speaking. I see that we have Diane Dosal mentioned in these minutes.
Yeah, just speaking, but yeah,
And she was the only one present, I believe, at that meeting as well.
right.
But yeah, I don't have any problem if the body does not with it reflecting who's present from the sheriff's office. With that addition, are you ready for the question? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The minutes are then approved. We'll move to item 4, public comment. Seeing that, I don't see anybody popping up on the Microsoft Teams. Do you have anybody scheduled?
I don't have anybody. I do see that Mr. Stellon has
Daniel.
joined us.
And Daniel was on his way in.
And Daniel's right there.
Does he have one of those fancy cards, or do we have to let him?
No, he has a fancy card.
When do we get to know the secret handshake?
Yeah.
Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so pursuant to my last entry, the minutes may certainly reflect that we are fortunate to have 3 staff members, and have Esteban and Danielle Robertson,
Esquire.
Esquire. And it appears that we
Yeah.
do not have public comment.
No.
I guess the record should reflect we don't have anybody present from the sheriff's office.
No.
Now, I believe,
Well, Lynette told me, and they all declined the meeting today, because she sent invitations to, I guess, the top.
Well, the sheriff did let me know that they weren't, he wasn't gonna be present, but then they just went in and let me know. So declining just means they're not gonna be here.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. Declined the invitation.
They do, because sometimes people don't decline and then I don't know who's showing up or
Right.
they don't accept. So it's kind of just out there.
information on that.
All I can say is the two emails that I've sent to the sheriff, one asking for an update on the behavioral health unit or to at least check it. And the other one with the same draft of the report that's in front of all of you, asking for any and all comments. No, nothing,
Okay,
nothing. So, and that got this draft, I think you sent it to him on Tuesdays. I mean, they've had time. It's not even 20 pages without the exhibits to go through. And I pointed
To them Monday.
Monday.
And then-
Okay.
We'll let you guys FYI.
Okay. So it was sent out. They've had a week,
Well,
5 days.
with your permission, I'll make discreet inquiry.
Absolutely.
okay. Are we going to have a holiday lunch like we did last year?
I think we ought to put that on the agenda, Don.
Okay, and could we invite the sheriff and his top people if they would like
We'll
to
have to
join?
check
Why
with
don't we
council.
invite them? to
Yeah.
the social event?
Talk about that.
Please,
For social, yes.
please.
Just so, yes, you can invite.
It sounds as if
It was really successful last year.
it was very successful. You mean in terms of getting the sheriff there? Oh, yeah.
Professor, that was on my brain too, that
Let's have a social event and let's invite them. They're welcome not to come, but let's invite him and his top people, Holly.
You were good enough to chair that for us last
Yeah,
time. We had
chair.
a lovely
Yes, I
lunch.
called the Indian Pueblo.
What happened to our agenda?
Yeah.
We're off of the agenda.
We're off the agenda.
Let's put this
That's
back.
future.
Does everyone agree we have it at the same place? I mean, that worked out
Same
well.
place, I'll
Okay,
give
good.
it a call. We can't make a reservation.
Done.
We need a
All right.
date. We need a date.
So at some
Talk
point
about
in our meeting, I'm going to have to turn the chair over to our capable vice chair
Okay.
and attend to some other business. So at any rate, no sheriff's office comment. Item 6 is new business. Vote on final draft of the annual report. I was hoping to stall until 2, so that's. But
Not a chance.
That's a long time.
But as is the usual case, Vice Chair Debbie Strongland has done has done yeoman's work with respect to this annual report,
Yes.
including drafting from the various comments at our meeting last week on the forward. And so I will turn the chair over to her and she can lead the discussion with respect to the annual report.
Okay, I think, does everyone have this in front of them? Because I don't know if Danette can put it up on the screen.
I think
I think
it
Is that possible
I have,
to also do that?
You have a 5,
I have.
okay.
Just in case we jump back and forth and everyone can refer to the screen to sort of see where we are. But as Danette is getting that set up, I assume that the forward is approved by Judge Jewell. Is everybody else okay with it, or anybody not okay? And that includes Daniel, Danette, anybody here? Okay. Stefan. All right, so we're good on the forward. Glossary, I assume, is okay. So then we get to advisory recommendations to DCSO, which is page 5. Which was revised, I hope, in accordance with the comments that were made at our work session. Oh, you know what? Before we do this, Michael, we had talked about saying something to make any votes that we take subject to, corrections, additions, if we find out there's a mistake subsequently. And you were gonna, I think, be in charge of making sure we did that correctly.
Right, as we go through this, I think the first thing I would like to know is does anyone intend any substantive changes as we go through this? Because we've been through it in our work session. If there are substantive changes, that kind of changes the motion that I'm thinking. If there are editorial changes, that's a whole different. I consider editorial changes like, for instance, if I asked if we spell out what IACP means, I would consider that a editorial change. So if there aren't any significant intended discussions and changes to the draft as presented for our agenda, then what I would suggest, Madam Vice Chair, is that we make a motion to approve and then have a discussion. During the discussion, and edits would come out, and then motion to approve would include approve with edits brought up by the board during the discussion.
All right. So,
I just had one clarification. As
Sure.
I went through for subcommittees, I saw ones that I was on,
mhm.
and then I kind of kept going through and I never saw really anything for any subcommittees. Were we gonna include that, or did you just never got anything?
I never got it. I mean, I got things from a couple of subcommittees or a few, and those things are included in the body of the report.
So one thing that I had been involved with was the orientation for new SOARB, and
Mhm.
as we discussed early on in the year, I don't know if maybe it was just me being new to the whole board scene, but an orientation for new members as far as like you and Danette had pointed out, well, our rules of procedure are here and our ordinance is there, and so I don't know if you guys feel this way, or if we could put something in to say, we will distribute this to the new member as well as an email list with the SOARB members. And then we had talked about a mentor SOARB member, just to get that new member, get their.
And I think that was in the annual report last year.
Oh, was it?
It was in general, there was not, very
Specific,
specific,
yeah.
but,
And I don't know if that needs to be, maybe it was just me. If you guys were just hit the ground running, then.
We've been
No.
taking it up as we,
yeah,
Yeah, we were
Well,
new, so we were.
Yeah, they were.
we were there when it
They were
started.
You were the first new member we had.
Yeah. Well, they were the first.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the four of
I
us.
asked
so Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I don't know, Joseph, are you proposing that something be crafted from that subcommittee?
Because you will be asked to craft it.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can get it in for this report or if it's gonna be too short.
I'm not sure that we need it only because of what. Debbie
was in
said,
last
that
time's
We
report.
did put it in the last report, but I would ask if, even though I know that you have other responsibilities and you won't be on this board after, or starting in January, if we do have new members, if you would maybe be willing to just weigh in on what should be offered to those new members.
Sure. I mean, I already.
Orient
I
them.
can.
Yeah, that's what was in the report.
Email it.
Yeah.
Can you send that to Debbie
I'm
and
not
to
gonna-
Judge
I
Jewel?
will.
And,
I'm not,
I don't want to get into a discussion of it, but certainly Joseph gave me some feedback that I think valuable. I don't think he really had a comfort level with disagreements being aired publicly in our meetings. And, you're among eight smart people and a retired judge, and so disagreements are gonna happen. And we are saddled with the law by which we do that publicly. So I suspect, I suspect that that's not gonna change a whole lot, we do our business in public. But at any rate,
We
I
had
think-
to.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that,
that's battle.
So that being said, I don't have anything new to add.
okay, all right.
So,
Can you
did
just
we want,
repeat that for me? Ordinance.
So when I
Rules of procedure?
rules of procedure, and then I had kind of, when Jim got on, kind of was, because he was asking a lot of questions about the hierarchy of for Birmingham County sheriffs. If he had a question, who would he go to for this or for that? And I was pretty familiar, but even then I was like, oh, I don't know who that would fall under, what deputy that would fall under. And then an email list of. That would. And then I can elaborate on like.
And then I'm in for you said, like someone. Be
So
with
do
you.
we want to add an orientation piece in this report?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
wanna
I
be-
say no.
I mean,
I didn't want it to be rushed. I mean, it's kind of not rushed. I could send it out, but if we're gonna vote for a final now, I.
Well,
don't have to
it
vote.
can be final, you know,
Subject to-
subject to updates for accuracy, and I don't have an objection to it. I just want to make sure it gets done like
could we,
ASAP.
add a simple statement that an orientation process is in the works? Or something along those.
What did
Or
it say?
there-
in last year's
I think
report?
that's what it did say, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
Yeah,
have-
orientation.
You can say an orientation progress is there,
I don't,
and this is the following.
I know, I just know there was something in there, but I
I know we had something in there, but
believe it
last
or
time
not,
in the report, but I don't know what it
I
said.
haven't read that.
But I think we did mention all those things in the report last time.
Okay,
But
so,
that's just a report, but no one, they read it, but then we don't visit it again, so
I think that
we just need to keep that in mind, I think.
I think the easier-
Utilizing it going forward.
I think the easiest way to get people oriented with the documents that have been mentioned is give anybody new, you know, in addition to a mentor, but give them the annual reports, because that has all of the relevant documents and a summary of everything that's happened.
When I joined in, there, it was still a first draft. It was being drafted, so.
Right.
But that makes sense now that it's all.
Yeah,
on the orientation.
And I know that all those things are available
On the
on the
webpage.
website, yeah. But, yeah.
Madam
But still-
Chair, perhaps I could offer this, to get the ball rolling. Make the motion that Mr. Wismer has referenced
mhm,
and, you know, subject to any substantive addition regarding the orientation. Move adoption of the fifth draft as our annual.
okay. Someone has to make that, can I make that motion?
I just did.
I second
If
it.
you recognize me,
I totally second
Tommy
it.
Jewel, if you don't. Now you're the chair, somebody
Oh,
else.
I'll second it.
Okay, great. Anybody objections?
Well, now we want to put it on the floor for discussion.
Oh,
So that
okay.
we were simply getting the motion on the floor
Got
as Mr. Wismer suggested.
No, I'm not good at all of this.
You are great at it.
Technical
You are great. And that's
stuff.
why Michael Wismer came, so that he could help you through these little technicalities.
I just came to get her autograph. That's-
On a check, right? On a-
All right, I'm just trying to look up, what we said last year.
Yeah, I was trying to look at a draft to see if I could find it, and I'm not seeing anything so far.
Well, I have it somewhere here.
But at any rate, Madam Chair, with that
Okay.
motion on the floor, if you want, I'll continue to look and you can.
Okay,
uh,
I have it up here on my screen, but, all right, so we're gonna add something about orientation, and it doesn't have to be a lengthy treatise. It can just be what we've pretty much discussed now. So, all right, so to me, the easiest way to do this is just do we have to go through page by page, Michael? Is that the best
It's
way
up to
to?
you. You know,
Okay,
I just want to give everybody a chance to make any edits that they
great,
feel
okay, so
might be necessary.
anybody have any edits on page 5, which is advisory recommendations to BCSO, to BCC, and to the public? Oh, okay, not hearing anything. I'll move on to page 6, history of SOARB. That's just kind of a succinct version of what we've done before. SOARB's mission, page 7 to 8. Anything? Okay, Page, starting on page 8, Sheriff John Allen, a new administration with a new approach. Anything? Oh, and there is, I guess in the advice to public, to go back to that,
Over there's a blank for.
there's a blank because we haven't gotten information from the sheriff's office about how they would like public input to be made about this phase 2 of the Central Corridor Enforcement Operation. So I'm not sure, I guess we can just change it to say directly to BCSO and not give a way to do it.
Yeah, specific way to do it.
That sounds right.
Okay. I mean, this is a very big operation because I read a lot more about it and on Facebook and stuff, but it's just unfortunate that we're not getting a little bit more information just to be able to pass it on. But okay. So page 8, starting page 8, Sheriff Allen, a new administration, new approach. Page 10, SOARB member. So I guess I will put an asterisk, Joseph, by you saying.
Well, he would still be current SOARB member, but. for
Not
this
as of
report,
January 1.
But this is the report for 2023.
So asterisk.
Okay, but I mean, and this is a 2023 report, not for 2024. He won't be on the.
Yeah, except that we're saying
2024.
current, so it's just a little confusing. I just want to put somewhere in here that we only, in fact, that's something we should, I guess, change a little bit in the recommendations to BCSO where it says the membership is currently at 8. It's
You
going
mean
to be at 7.
To the.
It'll be at 7.
I mean, BCG,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Well, I
So
thought we
that as
did
of
ask them
January
for-
1, right? Okay.
Yeah,
but
I thought we had something about.
We did have that.
We have something about David Montoya. But we don't have anything.
I know, but it's
David-
like we're projecting into the future and this is a report on the
That makes it
past.
easier, I'll stay till February.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, that takes care of that.
I
He'll
hear
stay till
February. Is there a motion for March?
Can we move
Okay,
it?
until
January to ask him again.
How about until they?
Not good till 2025.
appoint
That's what I
for
thought.
their
I don't know
position.
how long that'll take, so it's a flexible.
Now, I don't know if there's a process, we went through the deal with Mr. Montoya of waiting to see if he would show up for a meeting. I think the pick is Commissioner Quezada.
So the reason we waited for Montoya, because we weren't hearing from him, and it's an automatic with no hearing from somebody in the third meeting that you can remove them.
So
But if someone gives their resignation letter, like in the case of Miss Diane Dussel, when she was
Mhm.
here, if they give you the letter, then we use the letter as the spring off.
Well, you could.
I haven't given anyone a letter, I just reached out to Judge.
Yeah, he forwarded a copy to me, but you could just redo that letter and say you'll resign effective, when a
A new
replacement.
or whatever you want to say, can we
Yeah.
then say that your letter has not been submitted? I mean, we don't have to say that in the report. I'm just saying, for purposes of this report, they can say you're a
You're a member.
You're a member.
Okay,
Even if he leaves
he's still.
January, he's still a member for
Right.
all of 2023.
Sure.
for
Yeah.
2023,
Yeah.
right, but I just want to, anyway, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Because the report is
Sorry.
January.
Okay, page 8, we're
You're right.
current board members.
Oh, you're right.
And, Joseph, does Lopez have an accent on the O?
It does, but I don't make a big deal about it.
I can put it in now that I know how to
Big
do.
deal, we can put it in there.
Well,
Well, years ago, you had to do like 10 keystrokes.
I know, it's just-
Now you just press and hold usually, or at least on an
Yeah.
Apple stuff.
That's why.
Yeah,
I think
well,
it's nice, right?
I still have to do the 10 steps, but I know the steps.
That's good. You just have to hold it down.
The Enye and all those things, yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
do that online, but anyways,
I have to
Yeah.
copy words that already have those.
page 12, actions in furtherance of SOARB's mission. Nothing from anyone? Okay, and then we have.
Is that really the YouTube thing? That is the strangest
What?
link. After services, videos are available,
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
dot playlist, and then, holy cow.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you're supposed to cite something like that, so I just put in everything I
Looks
could
like
find.
something.
Where is it?
Page 12, under 1B,
Right here.
2 page.
That's a, you and Dr. Leading, I'm gonna have to sit down and give you guys a class on how to do the shortcakes.
Like, wow.
You guys do the.
Let me have,
the links.
let me have the cliff notes if I could.
Okay.
We can shorten it if we need to. We can
Yeah,
I
send
was
it
just
to
gonna
you.
say, don't you just, copy that into your cursor?
It depends how you do it, because then sometimes it'll give you the. whole
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it
it's
just
like
gives
when
you
you do an
the.
Excel and all of a
link.
sudden your number comes out to be some formula or something.
Okay.
I can read, I found what we had in our last year's report about the orientation.
He showed, Jim showed me.
Oh, okay. Anyone else want to hear? Do you want me to just repeat that with, I'll take out David Montoya and,
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, I could send you something tonight if you want.
okay,
I just would like to be able to say, this is complete, close the loop. We
Right,
can get rid of that subcommittee.
Agreed.
In my mind, that makes it.
Yeah, done.
Or we can just wait till next year, and then when you close it out is when you leave.
Either way, I'd like.
You don't want to
Sure.
do it before the January meeting anyway, because that's the election. That's when we're all on the edge of our seats.
so we can either, you can update this or you can draft something,
I'll probably look at that and then just
Yeah.
update, because there is a
Okay.
few things that
Do you
like an email
have
list.
it easily accessible. You want me to send it to you?
I can get it from my email.
Okay.
And I know that comes from that subcommittee, but is that, important in light of the fact of even the Montoya vacancy, that we do have a plan?
Well, that's true, that even now that we have you still on the hook, we still have one open
It's probably important.
spot. So, yeah, so just send me whatever you think is appropriate and
please.
we can send it.
Anything you think of, please.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, anything along the lines of what we had last year with even more specificity if you want. You could volunteer to be a mentor. Does it say a mentor has to be a member of this board?
You can just pick any mentor you.
I'm not qualified to do that yet.
Okay. All right, then there's, starting on page 13, we have the behavioral health unit. Discussion that Debbie and Diane Layden did, and, tried to update as much as possible from the discussion we had with Diane Layden or Diane Dosal in October. But I did send a letter, an email to the sheriff
Yes.
some time ago, and I've not heard zip. So
Just go
I
with
guess we'll
it.
just leave it as it is.
It's always gonna be in flux. You can never be up to date. Soon as you're
No,
up to
but
date, it'll change.
no, but we have things in here, like as of September, such and such, which it would have been nice to update, but whatever. And if in the interim, based on Michael's language, if we find out that something that we say in here is in the works has actually been done, then I think it can be corrected without having to take a new vote.
Mhm.
With that, okay.
Editorial.
Excuse me?
I would, we consider that editorial.
Great. All right, then page 15 is Jeff Allen's advisory recommendations in relating to SOARB's 2022 advisory recommendations, page 15 to 16. Anything? Outreach to and from the county commission, starting on page 16. Anything? And nothing. All right, and issues for future review, which, we expanded a lot based on people's comments at the last meeting. So I think we have a good number of items.
Yeah.
Okay, and the conclusion. And that's the report. So does anybody else have anything they want to add, including every single person at this meeting? I don't hear anything. So are we like take a vote? But I can't
Yeah, they,
think about.
to repeat the motion was to approve the that the chair, I'm paraphrasing in my language, not yours. I wouldn't dare try to put words in your mouth. Motion on the floor was to approve the draft in substance with the any editorial additions plus additions relative to the orientation effort that has been going on throughout the year.
That accurately reflects the motion that was properly seconded, and I'll call for the question.
Oh, so we're taking a vote on that motion. All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Anyone? Okay, then the motion carries.
I think on, Madam Chair,
Well,
Now, we're going to send you to Congress. That's right.
keep those
Yeah.
continuing resolutions.
I think I might need a bulletproof vest and a helmet to go to Congress these days.
So with your permission, Madam Vice Chair, for
I
the
hand
next
it back to you,
10 or so minutes, I'll resume the chair. And
please.
holiday party, we need a date.
I just want to say congratulations on doing it in 5 drafts instead of 13.
Thank you.
That was great.
Cut it down by a third. By 2/3, right? From 15, or maybe it was only
so
12.
let me complete this agenda real quick.
Okay.
I think. Update from any of the subcommittees. I think we had by way of that vote, had an update from orientation. Thank you for that, Joseph. Any other updates though? Subcommittee updates, subcommittee updates. Hearing none, scheduled for Friday, December 8th, 2023. Dr. Layden, I know you have a hand up for the holiday party.
Right, would you like to have it the next week, the 14th or the 15th? That would be a Thursday
I
or a
will be out
Friday?
of town,
Okay,
so
when
I
are you in
prefer
town?
not to.
Please check.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
My
figure it
son's
out.
getting married.
We can go as late as the next.
Well, he
week.
can't delay it for our party.
We got a baby due.
Oh, he can't delay it.
So it's under the
She can't
category
delay
of
it.
high time.
I'm certainly there the week before. I'm certainly there the week after. Let's see.
Okay, well, we could have it the same week as the meeting. We could have it earlier, the week of December 4th. We could have it the week of the 18th. Is that better for you?
Either, yes, both are better.
Both are better.
Yes.
Okay, what about Tuesday, the 19th of December? I'm picking an odd day in the week. I figure it won't be too. Is there anyone who could not make it on Tuesday, the 19th? I'm putting it down tentatively, and I'll check with Elena. Okay, we won't make it final, but
I'm fine with the 19th,
the
everybody.
19th, are you fine?
Actually,
Fine.
Tuesday's perfect for me.
Okay.
I don't work that day.
Tuesday, December 19th, can we assume 11:30 before the crowd at Indian Pueblo Cultural Center? I'll call them.
Sounds good.
Okay, then
Subject
I'll
to
check
editorial
with
comment.
Elena, make sure she can make it. Okay, and then does anyone object? Can we invite Sheriff Allen and his undersheriffs and his major?
I think we did that last year. Also, we invited the group from the
Well, now the
sheriff's office.
staff is welcome, but they're not obliged. And the staff is welcome to join us, but they're not obliged.
As
But-
our spouses and.
As our
significant-
spouse, but, okay.
We're gonna bore them to death.
Bring your
May I-
son.
just
Right.
to the sheriff.
California.
May I draft an invitation to the sheriff and his top people? I won't send it, I'll draft it, I'll send it, and
Fine.
let's invite him.
Okay,
We need to bump elbows with him. We need to be this is my opinion. He's not showing up. We need to do something. We need to be people with him. Let's not let this die.
well, and more troubling, I think, is that we haven't had public input in a
Okay.
bit, too, so.
And I'll draft a message to the sheriff.
Well, I think we have to ramp up our,
I think
Public.
the issues abound, as I looked at the emails flying. Certainly Jim and Dr. Layton picked out a couple of things that may grab people's attention. The on-duty question,
Mhm.
and in addition to the chokehold stuff, it seems to me maybe grist for discussion. I'm concerned that we're not getting the public input, you know, particularly after the gun purchasing indictments. I shouldn't say purchasing, running, whatever they were doing with guns. But at any rate,
You know, I think the public, most of the public, they've just so much had it with the shoplifting crap that goes on in the city that they didn't really care what he did. He got a shoplifter.
no, well, no, this is about the gun, the being,
Oh,
setting up
the
a
other
straw
trouble.
purchase.
But that's the past sheriff, so I don't think that would come to us.
Well, I wanted to
certainly there
ask
was
about that.
interest from the press.
Well, okay, I'm gonna send you, you know me, I send you stuff, I'm compulsive. Okay, so I have 2 articles by Matt Risen from the Journal. I have one from Source, New Mexico about the guns. And I will send you the links to those articles just so you have them. Okay, and now, do we want to talk about it? What happened here? Well, see, the
Mhm.
question I was asked on TV was, what can we do about this? And there's nothing except change state law. But now
Well, I don't know about nothing. I mean, we're here to make recommendations.
well,
We
then,
can certainly let our voice be known.
well, I think we should talk about this and make a recommendation. And there isn't an easy solution here.
I think it ought to be on an agenda. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, can we put this on the December agenda?
Certainly.
Okay. Okay,
After which we'll be sending an invitation to the sheriff's office.
Sure.
Come to our party.
Now come to our party.
So on the December agenda, are we gonna put finalize
Yeah,
the
sounds-
social gathering?
Sure.
We can
I'll
get a
send
good
an
head.
agenda item to you for
Share her
December,
letter.
if you don't mind. Let's put an item on the agenda and talk about the guns.
I guess Elena's probably not gonna make it this.
No, I don't think so.
I have,
No, I thought that Sheriff Allen, he did make a comment about it, like that he didn't have enough.
Yeah, he made a
information.
press statement.
Yeah,
press conference.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the press statement talked about him inventorying his.
The articles, one of the articles is about the inventory.
right.
Right, but subsequently I read that they had found 30 guns that were part of the suspect order, but then someone just told me
They are.
that's not
Yeah.
the case, so.
Allegedly, the sheriff's office phased out automatic weapons in 2013.
Mhm.
Allegedly.
That's what we read.
But these guns were requested between 2015 and 2020 by Sheriff Gonzalez.
Okay, well, let's not go on.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up another topic which is just, this is, next year is my last year and Tommy's last year. And
All of we've done
Yeah.
our 4 years.
yeah, we've put our time, in, we've done our
We've done
time.
our time.
But, so I'm just thinking as far as, elections for chair and vice chair, as rewarding as this has been. I think that while the 4 of us who were here from the start are still part of this, that it might be beneficial for at least one new person to come in. So rather than, my being vice chair, somebody
Or by
else.
Being chair for that matter.
Well, you're so good at.
Yeah.
They can-
My days are numbered.
But anyway, I just want to bring that up, that
Yeah,
people should think about,
transition.
yeah.
But
Well, that's,
That you might continue though on this
well,
board.
that's the
that
question.
vote comes in January, is when you guys vote for you.
Vote for officers, yeah, but
Right.
with respect to, I think the subject to bring up is probably something that needs to be discussed with the commission as well. In line with the fact that we're not getting public participation like we would like. Stebbins on there and certainly we can do some kind of PR about it, but I don't know, Debbie
It takes
says.
an incident, something to happen and then
something-
they,
Something
yeah.
horrific,
Yeah.
and then we get something, but.
Yeah.
And then.
That's in general everything, yeah.
I don't know, I said I would check back in with the sheriff, but, certainly the past few meetings, we haven't had participation there. So I think as Jim does and others of you do, maybe it's time to check back in with the commission and are you all sensing that this is relevant?
Yeah.
On the other side of this is police oversight. And
Oh, boy, that's a
you all
mess.
have probably followed the articles on APD and the situation with the oversight board there.
Yeah, let's just go to that board.
We're not.
Talk
oversight,
about
we're
that.
advisory.
Oversight is.
So
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not an
I
oversight.
think this is important
Ours
and I don't want it to be overlooked. But are we relevant? Are we doing anything besides having intellectual discussions?
Well,
So,
I also think, there's something called the Community Policing Board
Mm.
that is, I guess.
that's a part of that
Community
oversight.
policing
process.
councils.
Yeah, and so then
APD.
if you're referring to that article in the journal.
Well, this is something, I keep getting emails for like the Foothills Community.
Right.
Okay, I
Police-
served on
and-
that council. I served on the Foothills Council for 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
They were created after the DOJ came.
Mhm.
There are several of these councils around the city. I guess there's one for every district, every police district, every command.
Well,
Hmm.
well, I think the people who organize that, because I keep getting emails, and one of the people is actually someone who just ran for, I think, a city
I
council
delegated
position.
Sugar tenure.
And I don't believe she won that position, but she
did.
seems to have organized these meetings that occur in different parts of the city. And they are, I think, also on Zoom. And each meeting has, I think, a speaker and there is a topic that's addressed. And then people can submit questions. And the few times I've watched these meetings, there's been substantial participation.
I think they're organized around
The neighborhood.
the neighborhoods, yeah. So, she was the, chair of the La Mesa Community.
La
Improvement
Mesa.
Association.
Shepherd
So-
Lemons.
Yeah,
They might be somebody interested in joining this board who would have good ideas about community
Okay,
outreach, having the experience of organizing it.
good point.
Yeah.
Dr. Layton, you had something?
And I just
okay,
wanna-
I need to say this if you, Idalia.
Yeah. okay.
Idalia voted, Idalia, this is on the record, it's okay, but it will come up if she's on this board. She voted before she was a citizen. She
to-
voted illegally. You can look this up. She's
We
trying,
need to be.
she got herself appointed to the legislature. She ran for, she was chair of the Foothills CPC. But I can't recommend her because of the voting. She voted illegally. She wasn't a citizen.
So, that you want that on the.
I don't want it on the record. But
Well, it's on the record.
Yeah, 'cause
You said it.
That's all right, that's all right. So, I think the point that the vice chair is making is, maybe there are people
There
who
are people.
have talents at public outreach that I don't. And so, and I don't know that it's our responsibility. I hear the vice chair when she says, let's make sure that we're transitioning people into positions that this might enjoy continuity. Because, I see myself wearing out. The vice chair may have energy for another 4-year term and beyond. and I see some frustration, where is this going? It seems to me there's some things to discuss about
Mhm.
this that can help improve it or nip it in the bud if that's the direction it's going.
I think another thing that we should reconsider, and I know Elena's not here, but just, the whole issue of having a meeting at the sheriff's office. And it became controversial, but I think actually the majority on this board, and it happened to be one of the few meetings I missed that year, just by chance, but I think that issue needs to be revisited, and I think it might be a valuable way to extend outreach to the sheriff's office.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
then why don't we request that, for example, the February meeting, we'll give it an extra month. Why don't we ask the sheriff's office if we could hold the February meeting?
Well, I think probably we need to discuss it as a
Yeah.
group, only because I know Elena, we all know Elena's feelings on that issue, and she has a perspective that I think many of us don't have, an experience that many of us don't have. And, even though a vote was taken, I think that, Judge Jewell got letters from a state senator and, several other people saying, basically, how could you do this? How could you consider this? Elena
Consider
got
what?
having the meeting at the sheriff's office.
They thought it was not a good idea?
Exactly. Because it would alienate, I'm not exactly sure what the community is that Elena represents, but she always refers to it as, the underserved community. So I think that's a very broad
Mhm.
group.
Why you have the floor, we take chair too?
Sure.
Oh, excuse me, momentarily.
So, I don't know if we should propose that yet as a
Well, if
group
that,
without,
was it just Linda Lopez, maybe?
it wasn't just Linda Lopez. She was one of them. And I know Elena is
Mhm.
fairly close with her, but
Well,
I
that-
would like to
I-
have a
maybe-
meeting at the sheriff's office. I think it's a really good idea. Again, I have to respect Elena's point of view, but,
Can we put this on the agenda for the December
Sure.
meeting?
December, we can, it's kind of pre-holiday.
Will you put the item on the agenda?
Well, Danette,
Jim.
Well, you know what I mean.
yes, Jim,
My comment would be, we're currently meeting in a county facility.
I know.
And to get in the door, you gotta go through these two fellows out here in a metal detector, and you gotta go down there and tell them why you're in the building and sign in. I don't
They
think
made you sign in?
Not me.
They didn't make me sign in.
Like me, but,
No, that's
But-
so if you
but-
use for services.
I mean, we're here.
I think it would be good to discuss it next month if we can, because I remember back last year where we're saying we're gonna go to a community center.
Yeah.
or a
Right,
library,
right, and never
we're spinning
happened.
our wheels.
Yeah.
While I understand Elena's point of view, by not having it at a sheriff's office, who are we alienating then too? There's two sides of people that.
You don't want to
feel
keep the
comfortable.
status quo, yeah.
Correct.
Right, some people want to be in the sheriff's area and
Mhm.
talk to him directly. Some people are,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
represented, one that voted for him,
And we're not all gonna agree, and that's just the fact of life, yeah.
The one thing I would like to bring up is, gotta phrase this properly. We have to, is there some way we could figure out how to reestablish rapport with the sheriff? When he took over, he was here always and we felt like we had open communication. Now we're not. And have we done something that has pushed him off from us? What is it that we can do?
You must have missed the
to bring-
meeting that Tommy had, yeah.
Yeah. What is it we can do to, foster a better?
Well, I think as a
relationship with
group
him?
saying, here we are, the sheriff's advisory and review board, and yet we're also saying, but we're not going to go to your office.
Right,
'Cause,
that's not good.
And Elena's view is that, she told me even if we had even one meeting there, it would alienate her, her community. And
Well,
a
and
lot
if we
of
don't,
people
then maybe we're alienating some
Well,
other community.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I'm not advocating it. I'm just reiterating what.
Well,
you
you
had
know,
said, so-
they've made that offer more than once.
Exactly.
And it's very gracious and we just keep turning it down and that seems not good.
Well, we say we're- yes, I mean,
May I suggest that we have a meeting at the sheriff's office and that it may or may not involve Elena's group. There are other people that might come if we met at the sheriff's office. And I don't know that we can accomplish both things, but I think we need to meet there. I also think, and I said this to Judge Jewell, I think just he needs to meet with the sheriff like a person and just
who
talk.
does?
He just needs to meet with the sheriff like a person
Who
and
does?
just talk.
Judge Jewell.
Oh,
Judge Jewell, I sent him a note this week and I said, I suggest you meet by yourself with Sheriff Allen. And it isn't meant to exclude anyone. It's meant to get them talking like friends, like old friends. We need to make friends with that sheriff's office now. We've lost our link.
That's what I'm trying.
Well, how many meetings has he missed? 3.
I wasn't
And when
here
we
in
knew Balloon
August.
Fiesta
We
was
weren't here in August.
Two were pre,
there in
two were
August.
pre-planned is
Yeah.
my understanding.
Mhm.
This is the.
Right,
This was the
September and
last-
October,
This is the one that's.
And
Yeah.
now November.
right.
Right, but there
And he
wasn't,
stopped responding to emails. He stopped responding to, you know, take a look at the draft kind of email. There's something, I sense there's something going on that he
Yeah,
has
he
cut off communication.
he just cut us off and we've got to reestablish it.
Yes.
And we need to, and maybe they won't come to the holiday lunch, but we will have invited them. Let's have a meeting at the sheriff's office, whether or not that suits Elena's group. It isn't for her sake. It's to have a meeting at the sheriff's office.
I think it would be informative for all of us,
Mhm.
just to go there and have them tell us, whatever about the central corridor operation or, anything like that.
Well, then why don't we ask for a meeting with them in February?
Well,
Just set up a month or in March.
I still think out of respect to Elena and given that she's not, it doesn't seem like she's going to be here today.
yeah.
We can
should-
certainly hold off on that discussion until our December meeting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine with me, but I don't think the meeting that we have with the sheriff should just be for the purpose of meeting with the underserved. I think we should have a meeting at the sheriff's office. Period,
For the overserved.
because we're never gonna have one otherwise.
Well,
What's the best? I think the philosophical question, what's the best for the county? What's the best for our community? And I think opening up the doors to my personal opinion, opening up the doors to the sheriff's office and having a meeting there is good for the county all around. If some people feel that they don't want to be there for that kind of meeting or that they would feel left out, then let them watch and see what happens. And if it's positive, maybe the next time it will work, but to stall and not do anything, I think is a mistake.
well, and part of what was supposed to happen was in the interim, we were going to have meetings at different community areas and have, maybe have the sheriff there, maybe not, but a listening session to the community. And for whatever reason, those meetings have not happened. And so I just think we need to at least consider pushing this forward.
I think because they were trying to do the community meetings too at odd hours where we couldn't have staff there for a meeting. And yeah,
Right,
there's a
and
lot of
there's
issues.
always,
Yeah.
Some reason we couldn't do it, but we didn't do it, so. And I think we did have a lot more community input during the administration of Sheriff Gonzalez, and I think there were a lot more issues. And there continued apparently to be some issues about Sheriff Gonzalez that this sheriff doesn't have to answer for. He's
Well,
not.
he's doing the follow-up. He's looking into what happened to all those weapons and what his stock has now.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, he can't answer for the actions of the prior
Right.
sheriff and the two people who are sort of named in the indictment from the
They
former
are named.
administration.
Yeah,
Well, their initials are named and their rank, so it's very obvious who they
and
are,
then
but,
who they work for, Bernalillo County,
Mhm.
law enforcement.
right.
We all
So,
know.
I mean, there was only one Bernalillo County Sheriff on that date with especially his initials. But the fact is, you know, there's nobody in the current administration that I'm aware of who's named in that indictment. Either indicted or just, you know, named.
No.
Well, I'm wondering if this is ever investigated, if they'll find that there were other people involved in the sheriff's department. Now, in one of the articles, Larry Corrin was mentioned as being at one of those meetings.
I think, you know, he's
And now he's
tragically
gone.
gone, and I don't think that we
No,
could
I'm just,
speculate on that. I
no,
really don't.
but there may be other people in the sheriff's office who are involved, and my hunch is this will come to light. This isn't over. This isn't over.
Well, that would be good.
I know, it's not happy. Okay, I'll send you all the indictment. I have it and the 2 articles, 3 articles.
Is, I don't know, does anyone have any other sort of general topics of conversation to anybody?
Not to be reported, no.
Okay.
Do you guys wanna
Adjourn.
vote on the meeting for December's?
Oh, sure.
We need to do that.
All right, oh, go ahead. Can we,
I didn't hear what you said.
we have to vote on having a meeting. So do I hear a motion for a meeting on December 8th? at the
Oh, yeah,
usual
we
time?
love meetings. Let's vote.
Okay,
Yeah, I make the motion that we have our December meeting on the 8th at 1 o'clock here in this facility.
Second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. That passed.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Us. Okay. Any objections to that? No. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Quit recording now.
Austin,
Have a
thank you.
great weekend.
Stop the recording.
Daniel, did you have something?
No, I'm just letting her stop the recording.
Oh,